You just checked your phone. Maybe it was 30 seconds ago. Maybe it was 2 minutes, but you checked it. And before that, you checked it again. And before that, again. You already know there is probably nothing new. You know this, and yet your hand moves anyway. That is not a bad habit. That is not laziness. That is one of the most sophisticated survival systems ever built by evolution. And it is running inside your skull right now, completely out of context. Here is what is actually happening. Your brain was built by hundreds of thousands of years of one single pressure. Do not miss anything important. A sound in the bushes, a change in the sky, a shift in the group's mood. The ancestors who noticed those things survived. The ones who did not pass on their genes. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz spent years studying how the brain responds to rewards. What he found changed everything. Your brain does not get its biggest dopamine hit when something good happens. It gets the hit in anticipation, in the moment just before, in the possibility. That is the pull you feel when your phone lights up, not the message itself, the chance that something important might be there. Psychologist B.F. Skinner demonstrated this decades ago with a now famous experiment. When a lever produced a reward every single time, animals pressed it steadily. But when the reward came only sometimes, unpredictably, the animals pressed the lever obsessively. They could not stop. Skinner called this a variable reward schedule. It is the most addictive pattern in behavioral science. Your phone runs on a variable reward schedule. Sometimes you pick it up and there is nothing. Sometimes there is a message. Sometimes there is something that makes your chest tighten, or your face break into a smile. You never know which one it will be, and that uncertainty is exactly what keeps your ancient brain locked in. Your ancestors lived in small groups of roughly 50 to 150 people. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar showed that this is the number of social relationships the human brain can genuinely track. Every single one of those relationships mattered for survival. Who was angry at whom? Who had food? Who was forming alliances? Miss a shift in group dynamics, and you could be cast out. And being cast out, for most of human history, meant death. So your brain evolved to be obsessively, relentlessly social. It evolved to scan for updates in the group, to notice who was doing what, to never fully switch off that monitoring system. Now that system has a new input. It is called a notification. Every ping, every buzz, every small red number on an icon, your brain processes it the same way it once processed movement in the trees. Something changed. Something might matter. Check it, now. Researcher Larry Rosen, who has spent over 30 years studying what he calls eye disorder, found that the average person checks their phone every 15 to 20 minutes, even when there is no alert, even when they know rationally that nothing has come in. The checking itself has become automatic, a reflex built on an ancient fear of being left out, left behind, or left alone. You are not addicted to your phone. You are running a survival program that has not been updated in 200,000 years. And here's the part that should make you stop for a second. The companies that build these apps know this. They have entire teams of engineers whose only job is to study the same behavioral science, Skinner, Schultz, Dunbar, and use it to keep your ancient brain engaged for as long as possible. Every scroll, every autoplay, every notification is engineered around the exact wiring your ancestors developed on the savannah. Your brain thinks it is monitoring the tribe. It is actually watching strangers argue about things that will not affect your life in any way. But knowing this changes something. Because the moment you understand that the pull is ancient and automatic, you get a small but real gap between the impulse and the action. Neurologist Viktor Frankl called that gap the last human freedom. The space between stimulus and response. In that space is your choice. You can check the phone, or you can notice the pull, name it, and decide. Your ancestors could not turn off the rustling leaves. They had to respond. You are the first humans in history who can look at the alert, understand exactly what it is doing to your nervous system, and choose to put it face down. That is not willpower. That is evolution becoming aware of itself. So next time your hand moves toward your phone for no reason at all, remember, that is 200,000 years of survival instinct firing in a world it was never designed for. The leaves are not rustling. The tribe is fine. You can wait. If this made you think, check out my other videos. Thanks for watching.